From the deep jungles of Jamaica, the rules are very different here. Money talks, smoke rises, and only the real ones survive. This isn't a story about a business, it's about survival, hustle, and the real truth hiding in the green. Welcome to Success Decoded, the wild side, from humans to health. A man who turned chaos into clarity. No filters, no scripts, just raw truth. I'm Armaan Chugh, the creator, believer, the next big thing for the future.
Getting fun, but I think you see on the map where we're headed here.
Here, and then that was rotting down, and then we're rebuilding it now. And here is supposed to be a show kitchen where we show what we do, what we grow here. And over here gonna be some bunk beds. Then this is supposed to get a concrete deck, and on the top is gonna be something similar to up there, a couple of rooms and a place to hang out.
Okay.
And here we're gonna do a bunk bed, like really mass tourism, like probably 9 bunk beds, three.
Yeah.
And so ideally we can have 6 people here, with enough space, or when we have like people who come, intensive workshop where we spend most of the time outside, they will be in here. 9 of them can sleep here, and this is our living room. Take this job serious, boss. So here we come into an important junction. This is, you ask about what I have on the land, and this is going into the farm and also down to the river. There's a very beautiful spot on the river here. In the dry season, it's kind of a magical spot. And then we have another walkway going up towards the hilltop. And right up here, there's another junction, which we are going this way now. And this is following along the hilltop. You want to go in front again? This is hilltop is up there. This
What is it called again?
ice cream beans. Take a few of them. Just eat the white flesh. Always treat the staff nice.
Right.
Can't forget about him.
Talk to the cameraman.
No. If he runs out of battery, no good.
That was so close to having a battery though.
So this here is a very rare tree, even in its homeland, and much rarer here in the Western Hemisphere. It's related to the Jamaican apple or Tahiti apple. The name is lipote, and it comes originally from the Philippines. It's a side and a half when it blossoms. There are more 5-6 different birds fighting for the nectar. It's amazing. The tree down there, you see with the yellow fruits, that's the sun tall tree. And this is actually not the full tree. The full tree was blown down, and then there were 2 branches growing back up after Hurricane Ivan.
Yeah.
And then one of the branches was put down again by Hurricane Beryl last year. So this is one of the branches left. I have about 2 more bearing trees and about 3 more young trees behind it that soon will bear.
Yeah.
This is Anato, famous medicinal bush. It has the most leukocyte, I think is the pronunciation, of all the things that have it. Which tomato, watermelon, they have it in there. It's, according to Google, the most cancer-fighting natural medicine that we have. Anato. Very much underused and underrated. We have mountains up here.
Okay.
That tree is not doing so well, although it blossoms constantly. It doesn't bear much, so he get a warning. If he then starts to perform, I'm gonna prune him back and make more light for other things. Behind it, we have jackfruit tree. A tall one. Those are ice cream bean,
Okay.
but not the ones that we just try. Those are giant ice cream bean. They get long.
Okay.
You can try.
So how do we consume this? Do we
You can just eat it how it is. Shooting back. They're used in permaculture for exactly that purpose. Fertilize the land, make light come in. You can use them as a harbor to put up different things. They use them in coffee plantation a lot in Colombia, in Brazil. Ice cream bean, important tree. Ice cream beans boiling. This is an orange tree, kind of struggle a bit. Could use a bit more sunlight. You will keep your word. Because I prepare for what you said. Another orange tree. Do you know Burundi?
No.
That also comes from Southeast Asia. Tree cucumber or Burundi.
Okay.
It's a sour fruit. You try it. You like sour fruit? Going up this way. Of the land happening. I want to live back here.
Oh,
here.
cool.
There's also a cave back there.
Cave?
A very beautiful cave.
Really?
Very beautiful cave.
Cool.
That can be incorporated into.
Yeah, that's
I had
awesome.
some
Can people
amazing-
fit in it?
You can fit about 50 people in there, but it's
What?
not comfortable.
Okay. Is
I
it
wouldn't.
low?
No, it is a very easy, accessible cave. Look at the videos. Matthew have it on one of the videos.
Okay.
Not sure if that published it. I never really see here as a mass tourism place. Like half a dozen people, maybe 10,
Yeah, no, I understand.
and those can fit in there even when we have to do 2 groups, you know.
Yeah.
But I would say 10 maximum in the cave. So also there's rocks there. You see there's not a lot of stone in this area. Back there is a lot of stone, and I see like a nice rock garden with exotic fruits and flowers in between.
What is this?
This is like a banana.
Banana stem.
It looks like.
You're here?
We need to get going.
Yes. Up here, I like this area because it's kind of like a natural cathedral kind of feeling here. And this is also a place where with a couple bamboo seeds.
Well, it's the treehouse up there.
Oh, this one?
Sorry, but you're going backwards. I'm like.
That's why he gets paid millions. Don't be Ricky. In the dry season, you have to water things, but we are blessed here with a
So welcome to Arkly Media, guys. So today we are here in Jamaica, and we are here in a very special place. And I also have very special guests with me today. And please, welcome Thomas from Swiss and Chad from USA. So Chad and Swiss, could you please introduce yourself?
So, my name is Thomas. I've come here onto this property 29 years and some months ago. I had this vision of living in harmony with nature, and what you experience now is the end result of a lot of work, hardship, struggle, joy, surprises, and so on.
Okay.
Cool. And I just came to Jamaica about 6 months ago to open up an entheogenic botanical retreat center. So working with different psychedelic plants here in Jamaica, one of the only places in the world where all plants, except for a couple, are 100% legal and welcome with open arms. So really stoked to be here too.
Okay, wonderful. So should we get started?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Yeah. So, tell me more about, what made you come here, and, what has inspired you to leave everything back home and come here and settle down?
I'm often considered a dropout. Like, you could just almost imply too that I leave everything behind. And that's kind of what happened, but that was never my intention. My intention was, while I was living in New York, I was married to a Jamaican woman, and we had this idea about moving to Jamaica. And my idea was to come here, learn more about nature. My original thought was humans, we come from nature, so nature should have everything that we need and want. And yeah, that was in my head, technically speaking, that's how it happened. And then I came here and I realized that without prior knowledge, I would be pretty much dead. I really needed the help from some elders, Rastafarian, there's a Rasta doctor specifically, who was made famous through the Peter Tosh album Bush Doctor. He was the Bush Doctor, and he was a very good friend of Peter Tosh. And I had the privilege of meeting him, sadly through a sickness of my ex-wife and some health challenges of my own. But through meeting him, we ended up in his care for a year straight. And that led to my ex and I get divorced because I knew I had to learn more about his life. And for her to realize that she don't want to live this life, she needs a little security, hospital care and American medical care and all that stuff. And the result couldn't be more different than it is, because she was buried last year and I'm here in her homeland prospering. So, and through meeting this Rasta doctor, I had actually a practical knowledge person in my life that helped me, and directly or indirectly, he saved my life probably 6, 7, or maybe 10 times. It's and it had to be, and I had to have met him. This is my calling to do what I do here. I couldn't vision any different life, and the life I live here, the way I live here, it's hardly possible anywhere else on the planet. It is really, I had to be here and I had to do it here. It's no coincidence, no accident. It's destiny, for sure.
Okay. Just to collaborate with that, you can really only do certain things in Jamaica. I mean, for me, everywhere else in the world, if I took my plants there, I would be a criminal. I would be a very in trouble criminal.
For taking care of nature.
For just taking care of nature and trying to express to people through these experiences that while we do live on the earth, in the best of times in humanity, we've lived with the earth and in it as a piece of it, instead of trying to colonize on top of it. And being intentional about homogenizing not just your physical experience, but your spiritual experience with what is here really naturally is a living relationship. It's not some like pie in the sky thing. It's you can just look at the way the nature is here and the things are here and connect to them in a way that you can't do in a lot of places, because it's so welcoming to the human biology in a lot of ways, I think. And in a different way, I also had basically a difference of agreement with someone that I've been with for 14 years about what the proper way to live is, what the proper lifestyle is in terms of how close is it appropriate to be with nature, and how much should you commit yourself to the idea of that union. And so I left my partner as well.
I didn't leave
Or,
her.
no,
She
I'm
left
sorry.
me.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Well, I left my partner to pursue this further, to pursue this deeper, because in terms of what I do, it is very specifically only Jamaica.
Okay.
It's the only one in the whole world where I can do what I do. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Grateful for the rock.
And Jamaica, the Jamaican people still have a connection to nature, although the younger generations strive to be further away from nature. They follow Babylon, and that is exactly part of what Babylon does. It creates a wedge between people and nature. Undeniably, everybody still needs oxygen, everybody still needs water, so we're still connected to nature. But then just look in what come out of Hollywood, we're supposed to be afraid of nature, from little insects to sharks to dinosaurs. We just watched Jurassic Park.
Oh, cool, nice.
We are trained to fear nature. And my experience here, 30 years, in the community and now on my own land, and I can guarantee you that any challenges that I ever had here, any serious challenges that I ever had here, came through man. It's not through nature. Nature, it's like a silk pillow where I'm resting at here. Yeah, there are storms, yeah, there is a drought here and there, but nature still provides. So, and one of the best advice I ever get from my brethren, when I actually ask him for some advice, he tell me, have a closer walk with nature. And I think that's the best thing that I ever get to hear in regard to life and what people should do with it. Going back to a question you asked me before about the biggest challenges that I have here, it's exactly that. To catch people who come here, I had quite a few people here, they're smoking ganja in big city and dreaming about Jamaican beach life and eating mango. And then they come here and culture shock.
Sure.
And 2 days later, 3 days later, they're gone. They can't manage. First of all, they don't trust themselves enough. They don't trust me enough that I could guide them. And it's just too much going on in their head. Now we are somewhere here between survival and prosperity. With a good help like Ricky here, two of us sharing, helping each other, it's like very close to prosperity and perfect life. When one of us gets an injury and have a cut, the other one is soon in survival mode. So it's still a very delicate balance. But that's what I learned here, and I think there's quite a few people on YouTube, Instagram, they're talking now about self-sustainable, living by yourself. It's kind of an illusion, and I totally agree, it's delusional. It's, yes, when you have savings and you set up yourself, you have all the modern machinery, and it can work for a little while when you're 30 years old and have children that help you do the slave work, so to say. Yes, it can work that way.
Yeah.
But you're creating yourself a prison. But if you live like this in healthy communities of 100, 120 people where you have different talents, different skills working together, you live then close to paradise. Probably have to work about 1 hour a day of things that need to get done, and the rest is you do what you enjoy doing. Which is probably how the American Indians lived before white people go there and mash up their life.
Probably,
And the Thai lived in Jamaica.
Yeah.
We still depend on them in the future, don't worry.
Yeah.
There's still knowledge there that will help us get back on the ground after.
Absolutely.
But as the generation is keep on upgrading and all of that, and we have a lot of constructions. The development it's happening, right? So what would you say that the nature is getting distracted?
No,
or
actually,
reduced, right?
actually, it isn't. When you listen to the news, mainstream news, we are global warming, disaster. But the reality is, Jamaica is now greener than 20 years ago. Farming has decreased to some degree, especially in big-scale farming with export. So there's a rewilding going on. That's true for Germany, that's true for all of Europe, that's true for Switzerland. Steep hills where people used to farm are not being farmed again. And the cities, we have examples now. Holland have it, Italy have it. There's a place in a tower in Italy, a green high-rise building. There is actually probably about 10 times more nature is planted on the building that would fit on this place where it is, where the building is situated. So, I had this discussion with AI not too long ago. We have the resources, we have the money, we have the knowledge, we have the skills, we have everything to live in paradise for the next million years if nothing really too drastic happens, like more drastic than the last million years. And that's totally different than what you hear from the mainstream media. Cities can be, when everybody would live in the countryside, you cannot really share a lot of resources. When you live in the city, you literally can have buildings where you have food growing along the building, and you have the waste collection done in a way that it turns fertilizer for the same plants that are growing there. Now, I'm not saying that is mainstream yet, but it can be in 20 years. If you listen to what the Chinese do, they're building green cities now where water is managed in a different way. There's a lot more greenery incorporated, rooftop gardens, balconies with trees and berries and birds nesting there. So we just have to be positive.
Correct. So
And we just have to actively, each one of us has to spend his money, his energy onto positive things that help nature. So quit your job at ammunition factory and go work in a nursery, tree nursery, and instead of going to all-inclusive vacation and just get stupidly drunk, take a retreat with Kaigo and go plant some trees and eat some mushrooms.
Yeah.
It's possible.
Yeah.
We just have to be open-minded.
That's correct. We have a retreat that is outlined in our site called Soldier Mountaintop. And it's about really connecting with what's going on here and experiencing those things after your day of real labor, going back, doing a trip, and then you reacclimate again and you work, and you do this for like about a week. And so it's one of the things I came here to talk to you about is if maybe we could begin a conversation of if you'd be interested in holding some kind of retreat here where we could work together on something.
I am. That's definitely the future here, and I'm definitely interested in people who want to know more about life, health, nature. Absolutely,
Cool.
Absolutely interested. I have question, and I don't know if you want to have that all on the video. I just gonna answer and talk about. And I'm not saying those are my own words. It's actually a BBC documentary I listened to years ago.
Okay.
Where an elderly woman was talking about this, and the need to get high.
Mm-hmm.
They need to go to reach the mountaintop with artificial help to manifest what we do on this planet. I question it. And this is something that I saw in Jamaica has been getting popular with mushroom retreats. And I think it is sick to charge people $3,000 to go artificially do nothing and then give them something that is illegal in their country, make a big deal out of it. And it's still a natural plant that grows in cow shit, for Christ's sake.
Sure.
So
I think there's a lot more inputs than you might be aware of in terms of the costs, right? I agree with you. If you and I are just sitting here and we've got a mushroom bed right over there, right? No problem. It's a few bucks, right? But imagine that the major source of the expense is that if 10 people need to be in a luxury villa that costs $15,000 for the week, I can't charge them $5 mushrooms.
No,
because it's not
but that's
about.
Also a contradiction with the luxury villa. Why does that have to happen in a luxury villa?
Because it's what people want as a part of capitalism, and that's why I want to offer different styles of retreats, not just what is currently done by and large, right? And then here's the other aspect, man. Are you able to swim? You know how to swim?
Yeah, I'm a lifeguard since
Perfect.
I'm 12 years old.
Okay, so I look at the idea of artificially getting to the mountaintop, like you said, right? Well, we're swimming before we're born, or as we're, like, when we're in our mother's womb, right? And then we kind of forget how to swim. And then we go back to swimming. And I would suggest to you that before we're swimming in our mother's womb, we're having a lot to do with what's going on with the chemicals and functions that are happening in psychedelics. So DMT is present as we're being born, it's present as we're dying, and it is
Always present.
always present. It's in every plant, every tree, everything, right? And so most people aren't aware that mushrooms even, right? When mushrooms hit your stomach, they become 4-MeO-DMT. And so in a lot of ways, it's about communing with something that has always been and is closer to what's happening here than any material thing that is here, because it is our essence and it is our nature to live in a multi-dimensional spaces, right? So when you're on these, you're aware of what a human fully is, much in the way that when you're swimming, you're realizing, oh wow, this is something that I've never done, or this is a new way a human can function, right? We are, my contention is at least, that we are meant for these spaces, and we are meant to learn how to navigate these spaces. Because
Not
it is,
disagreeing with that. The only thing that I also feel is also a true statement is that you can use crutches to reach the mountaintop sometimes, but you have to learn to reach the mountaintop without any of those.
imagine that you didn't know there was a mountain. And this
You
is,
know they're there.
this is,
Everybody knows.
everybody does not know.
Mhm.
People
Everybody inside have those
I-
feelings of feeling good, feeling on top of the world. That's where the mountaintop is, isn't it? You feel on top of the world. And even with all the hardship and grief that's going around, you know, maybe not everybody, but most people still have those feelings in them. And kind of get scared. That is only on vacation and holidays and not in daily life. And it should be in daily life.
What is? What should be in daily life?
That feeling of being on top of the world.
Sure. So you haven't done psychedelics.
Yes, I have done.
What did you do, if you don't mind me asking?
I have done mescaline. I have done
I brought-
LSD.
Okay.
I have done mushrooms. And actually I had a mushroom trip 32 years ago, which was my second time taking mushrooms in Negril.
Okay.
with
So a
Miss
Cubensis
Brown.
strain.
Yes.
Okay.
Which there's that mushroom shop in Negril that's there since the hippie times.
Yeah.
Now it's taken over by the son.
Mhm.
I had the fortune to meet the mother who originally started it. And that was actually really funny because my ex and I were supposed to do that together, and which we have done a couple psychedelics before, not much, maybe 2 or 3 times before.
Sure.
And then she chipped out. And looking back, I was so happy that she chipped out because I think that Miss Brown woman really gave me a freaking dose that was like, you know, they call them the mountaintop dose there now.
A hero's journey. You went on a hero's journey.
Yes, and it was in that stage where we were planning of moving to Jamaica. I had a list of questions, and funny enough, after a little psychotic trip, towards the end, it was also towards the morning, I sat down with that list and I just, problem or solution, problem, solution. It just
Helped clear things up a little bit.
clarified it. And then I haven't done psychedelic for 30 years.
Okay.
Till about 2 years ago, I had a guy came, and people kept telling me, I said, oh, this place would be perfect for mushrooms. I said, yeah, that's true, but not when I'm here in survival mode. It's not gonna happen. And then it got easier here because I had some good help. And then I had a guy here who had some mushrooms that he cultivated himself, and he said he would be sharing it with somebody else that was here, and we had a trip then. And then later on, I found some mushrooms here, psychedelic mushrooms. I had somebody help me identify them, because I buy cow shit from my neighbors to
Were they
fertilize
tiny?
the plants.
Were they tiny psychedelic mushrooms?
I had 4 or 5 different psychedelic mushrooms grown here already.
Wow.
Yeah, including golden
Golden teachers.
teachers.
Sure.
And he said about 3 or 4 different kind of cubensis
Okay.
that were grown here. And so I had a few deposits where I had cow shit, and then I see them growing in there, and I knew they're supposed to grow in there, and I knew when they're blue, that's a sign they are, psychedelic mushrooms. So I found them, and then I had a guy who came, Ben, really interesting dude. he was just taking all my different nurseries with more caution, and we had some serious mushroom growing here in about 3 weeks time.
Really?
Yes, because he just built on what I had here already.
Yeah.
And then it worked.
Do you still have the strains here on the mountain?
No,
Okay.
not now. I have not the guy him and I had a little
Spat.
Not really. He was also thieving me and my neighbors, and my
Oh.
neighbors tell me if I keep working with him, I'm in trouble.
Ooh, that's
so
no
I had to
good.
stop that.
Don't want to mess with your neighbors in
No.
Jamaica, guys.
No. Nowhere in the world. Neighbor is an extension of the family. It's community is very important. And guidance from community is very important. So, yeah.
So whatever you grow here, do you also export? Or
No.
it's just
No interest in exporting. I don't even sell fruits. I prefer them to feeding the soil and feeding the ground. If people want to get fruits, they can come get them. What I do sell is seedlings.
okay.
You know, I believe everybody should live how I live, so I make it possible. I sell trees, I sell seedlings, even seeds if somebody wants them. I also send some seeds abroad to people who wanted them, and people carry them too. So seeds from this land already in neighboring islands in Africa probably as well. I cannot mention who bring them there because it's not so 100% legal bringing seeds to other countries, which is kind of stupid.
Yeah, I've ran into that as well. You know, I got really lucky with my cactuses dried out when I was trying to bring them, and the samples weren't good anymore. And I was down in Kingston, right? And turns out there's San Pedro cactus and peyote button cactus growing in some of the community gardens here. And I went to the people that run the garden because I wanted to be respectful. And I said, could I get a piece of your plant, you know? And I didn't know this, but it's like a kind of a very common thing in Jamaica to just ask someone for like a little cutting of their plant or whatever. So everyone was just, thank you. If you see this, thank you. Because everyone was extremely kind. I got to take a whole bunch of samples. So now I've got like 20 or so specimens of San Pedro that are going, and some of the peyote cactus. And it's just from here, already here. It was already here in
Locally
Jamaica.
grown,
Locally?
and the people didn't even know.
In the community garden, they had no idea what it was. I told them what it was, and they were like, okay. Like if we could figure out some kind of loose thing, yeah, we can do it on the phone and stuff too. But
we have WhatsApp. We can
yeah. So I was thinking after we sort of got that down, I wanted to take maybe some videos of the land, shoot some advertisement things for doing a retreat. If we can work that and both have decent terms.
It cannot be big.
No.
It can only be a few people.
Like 7 would be the max. Is that even?
I
big?
have 2, 4, 6. If it's a couple, it's a double bed. I don't really put 2 men or 2 women on it. So there's 6 people here. There's a tree house, which also 2 people who know each other could be there. So if it's couples, and I think this is something I would love to do actually, because I think there's a big fuckery going on between male and female on this planet right now. And this is something that needs to rectify quick.
I have a retreat called Unity Ascent that we have designed, and it's about taking people that are in relationships that are failing for one reason or another, sticking them in the bush together for like a week to 3 weeks.
That's what I would love to deal with. Absolutely.
Dude, I knew we were gonna find.
Although I have not been in a relationship for the last 3 or 4 years, I have experiences with relationship. I come from a family home. My father died 12 years ago, but before it was 50 years of my mother and him together in a productive way. You know, my ex-wife wanted a divorce, and 30 years after divorce, we're still on the phone regularly, and you know, actually I had to counsel her about, you know, she wanted to commit suicide and do it in strange ways and wanted to go to Switzerland because we have exit program there.
Oh yeah.
So, and yeah, it was strange. And yeah, we were still together, you know, as friends till the end. Although the relationship, yeah, I mean, I didn't quit it, she did. And I'm happy she did. Because
So-
I couldn't take that burden up in my life that she became.
I don't want us to become egregors.
What is that?
Egregor is a source of power outside of another individual, right?
Mhm.
So I want them to heal themselves,
So,
not have
are
us
you
be the-
filming again? Or
You're like, we should be.
no, I mean, I don't know.
Yes, yes.
You are?
Yeah.
Okay. So,
Sneaky. He's sneaky.
yeah, but
But so
it's
I
fine.
don't want us to be egregors. I would like us to be facilitators of the objects. You be the facilitator of the space, and I be the facilitator of the other space, if that makes sense. And then I work with the Psychiatric Organization of Uruguay. Big up to you guys. And I'd like to have basically a professional psychiatrist come during these retreats, and they can pick during the day. Do they want to hang out with the Bushmen that can show them about the natural stuff here? Do they want to speak with this psychiatrist, or would they like to go on a trip that day? And it's going to kind of be their choice, or that's my thought. We can reason about it however you want, but I would like to stay out of a place of I'm not the solution. I'm a part of the solution. You know what I mean?
But then you have to be very careful with the psychiatrists because 90% of the psychiatrists are part of the problem.
Yes.
So, and it's funny because, you know, like in I told you my brethren was the bush doctor, and I came to Jamaica because of the liberty of natural life, natural food, and then I had to learn the hard way, or the maybe not the hard way, but I saw myself being taught or kind of guided into the position of the mental health aid. And yeah, it was not what I came here to do, you know, but I was faced with that over and over and over and over and over again. And yeah, I think I'm pretty, and I think that's also a reason why people like Kate have a little hard time here, because I can be respectful, but I'm not gonna lie in your face and oh, you're so perfect, oh, you're so this. When you're lost, go on with bullshit. I will tell you this is bullshit, and I will tell you that, yeah, this is really nice that you come here, smoke 5 spliff a day, have a good life, but I, who's supposed to chill out here, prepare for my trip, and enjoy my space, cannot do it again because I'm working for you. That
Yeah.
cannot be it. That cannot be it. And this is something, you know. I don't know how you see that being packaged, but I really would like to, you know, package it as survival camp. And people come here learning to survive. The getting high, that's the freaking dessert. They go to the mountaintop, you do that when you have your
That's the
daily-
dessert. What a
when you
great
have
way
your
to say
daily
it.
work done.
Yeah.
Maybe if you're not too tired.
Yeah,
Because
if you can handle it.
That
It's-
was my thing, you know. I for years, you know. You know how many times after I finish my work, I cook my pot, I roll a spliff, and I neither smoke nor eat before I take a nap and wake up 10 o'clock in the night again because I was just done out.
Just done, yeah.
And this is, you know, somebody asked me the other day, what's my favorite drug? And I told them oxygen. And they look at me like I'm crazy. But I really mean it. You know, physical work and getting naturally tired, there's no drug, no mushroom, no cactus, no mescaline, no LSD, no MDM, whatever they want to call it, gets you to that level in such a profound way without any negative side effects.
It's your body releasing cannabinoids. They found out
Exactly.
the ones that are already inside
Because
of you.
when
That's
we,
why it's like
we,
a hot. It's
when we
why
wouldn't
it's a
have
hot.
the receptors for those things wouldn't work in the first
Yeah,
place.
exactly.
So
yeah.
when we have receptors, that means we also can produce it ourselves, and that is what we should really focus on.
yeah,
you
I
know?
agree.
And yes, there's gonna be time when you need crutches and you need a little help, and I totally agree with that. You know, there's place for that, and healing. You know, especially when it goes into generational healing. You know, long-term thing. people need help.
But I
You know?
think nature is the biggest healing medicine.
I also think there's a certain revelry in kind of doing what you like. And
Of course, that is how the creator make you find your right position.
yeah,
Because we all have different talents. Some people like to keep things clean and neat. Ricky, for example, like I rate that, like every day he keeps the place clean.
yeah.
That's not my strength. I would wait 3, 4, 5 days till it's, and then I clean.
Yeah.
But I also prefer to live in a clean place.
Right? Who doesn't?
You know?
Yeah.
Who doesn't?
Yeah.
When you don't, you have
Yeah.
to check yourself.
Yeah.
Really. So this hierarchy things, I supervise a big company, I'm worth millions, and the janitor, or minimum wage. And we saw that in COVID. Who was the essential workers?
Mm-hmm.
It was the people who make the least money.
Yeah.
Those we needed. The rest could stay home. We didn't miss them.
Yep.
And that should really open people's mind a bit. Why is it not? But people are crazy. In Switzerland they had a vote. It was 12-1. It was about a law. They wanted to do a law that the highest earning person in a company cannot earn more than 12 times what the lowest person makes. It was turned down. And when you listen to the analysts of why it was turned down, is because every person believes they're a little Elon Musk inside them that's going to come out, and they would not want to be restricted by anybody. So they voted it down. So now we still have people put some weight on that.
Yeah.
People still making, I don't say earn, but they are taking bonuses that are absurd, while they fire people that are essentially needed, who do hard work, to, make the bottom line look better.
Yeah.
And that is just crazy. And I'm not going to say capitalism is bad or communism is bad. I know from years ago, I think the solution is either community-based capitalism or capital-based communism. So a combination of it, and at the end it is common sense is needed. Not laws and rules and regulation and hurdles and burden, but common sense. Treat each other like how you would like to be treated, in honesty, and there's not going to be a problem.
Well, certain people, I think, need a lot of analysis before they can come to that conclusion. Unfortunately, I think certain
Just
people
throw them
just
in the
rely-
bush. Just throw them in
What
the
do
bush.
you think
with
I'm
some
doing?
stranger. That's why I encourage you. Just throw them in the bush for 3
Why do you
weeks.
think my things are so expensive?
And let them
They're
work
expensive
out
because
things.
if they were cheap, wealthy people wouldn't want them. And the lessons that we're trying to teach are lessons for wealthy people. Mostly poor people can get by in life a lot of times, right? But when you're gifted or given ridiculously, or even worse, you strive to take an extreme amount of power, right? You're not going to sit there or most people won't, unless they decide to get into meditation and go deep. Most people are not going to sit there and go, the entire way that I see and enable my life is evil and wrong. Unless the experience comes from outside. And so for me, the mushrooms, if you do them at the right dosage, the dosage I'm speaking about is like 7 to 12 grams, okay? If you do the DMT and you do DMT at 0.0, like a 10 to 100 milligram hit of DMT, a person can have...
How is DMT still available? I heard Joe Rogan talk about it one time, and he said it was something that you could actually buy. And it was legal to buy.
Well, a while ago it was legal to buy, but now it's very legal almost everywhere. The only way you can do it is by putting certain plants together.
Yeah, ayahuasca.
Yeah, well, yeah. So like Capi and Mimosa hostilis are the two plants that make up the Peruvian version of ayahuasca. But there's a bunch of versions of ayahuasca with a bunch of different plants because DMT's highly potent in a bunch of different ones, right? But so
It's about having the DMT plant and
the
inhibitor
MAOI
plant.
inhibitor. Yep. And but so the plants that I work with, that's my main goal, man.
You have any plants in Jamaica that you can do it with?
Yeah, I have, like I said, so I have a few species of mushrooms. I have some cactus, and I have some plants that are very DMT positive. I also have a plant called Black Domina, and I have access to a blue lotus, which blue lotus isn't very deeply psychedelic, but imagine no one's ever had a real psychedelic trip, and I'm about to take them outside of their body, right? And so I have to give them something that is, this is kind of what it's like to be high, so they don't freak out and panic, right? And so I use
like with mushrooms, with the right dose, you couldn't reach there too.
reach.
Like I find mushrooms, you can. You said that you do dosage 7 to 10.
If you're talking about cubensis, yeah, but we don't use cubensis very often. We use a much stronger strain called Pinellos, which have about 10 times the psilocybin content, and so our larger trips are you only need 2 grams on those, but that 2 grams is like consuming 20 grams of cubensis. The problem with consuming 20 grams of cubensis is it's a little tough on the body. Just that amount of mushrooms to eat, you know.
Yeah.
So what
Like
we
you
did
can get the stomach upset.
exactly. So we can actually condense by using different strains. We can really condense
You
the
grow them?
biomatter. Yes.
in your garden.
Yes. I have. There's a bunch of there's actually a small community here that is just really pumped up, really enthusiastic about where this is headed and how supportive Jamaica's been as a country, and just like it's really cool what's happening here in that way. Like we're really queuing up for some cool stuff, I think. But so also the cactus, the San Pedro, the peyote, like
Those I would like to try. I never done.
so
Mescaline. I'm not
mescaline's
sure.
the active ingredient in those things. So if you
So I do that one time
okay.
in New York, and with my ex, and it was really crazy because she and I played frisbee together, tennis and frisbee.
Yeah.
And frisbee we were really good at it. And one time we did mescaline, and we ended up playing frisbee in Central Park. And it was, I wish somebody would have filmed us playing there. We played maybe, I don't know, the time doesn't really have sense in those days.
Yeah.
But it was one of the longest time we ever played. So it was like maybe half hour, 45 minutes. And we reached a level of playing where the frisbee didn't drop. And what was funny, when we finished, I noticed that like all around us were people watching us. Like it was a performance. It was, and the connection that we had, we had a good connection. Even she wrote it in her obituary, like the first few years of our marriage was the happiest time in her life. And I felt like that. I really felt like we had a good relationship, and I was baffled when she wanted a divorce. But you can't figure out women. I can't. Not in this lifetime, I think. Maybe when I live long enough.
I was gonna say, I'm sure we'll have a few. It'll be fine.
Yeah, I know I will have a good relationship in the near future. And I had very good relationship. I have very good female friends, so I don't worry about
But
it.
how's your community looking like now? Because you stay far away. So do you still?
You mean?
Yeah.
I just see the iguana coming down on the green iguana.
Yeah.
You see him?
Yeah.
That big limb going down.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a couple of them. They live up there. That's their home.
Okay.
This looks like it's the wife. I live in this community here,
Yeah.
community of Retrieve, and I'm well respected here.
Okay.
By people who live totally different life than I do.
Okay.
And then I have the Rasta community, which there's two sides there. There is most of them, they accept me and they respect me. And there is some, not so fully open, educated ones who, Rasta is supposed to be African thing and it's a black thing. And for them, I'm just like a pain in the ass. But I don't really care about that. I know myself. For what I do here, I I literally get the approval of two of very important elders from the Rasta movement, my brethren, who was a high priest in the movement, and his best friend, Martin Merplano. That, see the next one there?
Yeah.
Oh, that one's really
Yes,
visible.
That's the
This one
husband.
is very green.
Isn't it funny we
Dark
talk
green.
about relationship when they come?
Yeah. Right.
Because I don't see them more than 5 times a year.
Hey. Really?
Serious. Yeah. And now they're coming down in the rain season. It's not quite normal.
Yeah.
But my life here is not normal. And and this is what makes me a bit nervous about going back to Switzerland. That's my community there too. But when I go to Switzerland looking like I do, I'm the foreigner there. And I'm being treated as such too. Even sometimes within my family, they look at me, keep me on a safe distance, and I don't really worry about that. My family, who really matters, my brother, my sister, my father, my mother, without my parents' help, I wouldn't be here. Like this place, the foundation of this this place was built with money that I put away for college for me, a university. And I told them early, I said, I don't have no interest. I'm not gonna sit 4 years of fuckery for something that I can learn in a half year myself. And my father was a teacher. He would love to have seen me do something educational wise. But when I met the Rasta doctor and I told him I want to set up my life here and learn from him, and if I could have some of that money to get started, they agreed to it. So that is also why I feel here I have the moral obligation to deal with people like the one we talked about before and young people who want to come here. Because I kind of push myself into the Rasta doctor's life. I ask him if it's okay, but I still, he was retired. He had an offer from the university to be professor emeritus, and he turned that down. But he tell me that anytime, day or night, I can check him when I have a problem. But it is also him who tell me one time, and I never hear him talk so forcefully, but one time it was like, oh, I'm so glad I came to Jamaica. And he, Tommy, you didn't come here, you were called. And he said it very forceful. And as he said it, I remembered that time when I was in Switzerland as a teenager, when it is time to decide what you're gonna do in your career kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I had no idea what I want to do, but I just knew I have to work with creation. But at that time, I probably would have, I didn't never talk to anybody about it, but I felt that was coming full circle when I come here. And when he said that to me, it is that picture that I haven't remembered for 20 years or more than 20 years, came back to me. He said, okay, that's how this works. Rasta is the bridge between creation and my life in Babylon, and that's what I'm doing here.
Then was money not important for you? You didn't think about, because everybody today think about earning money, getting that degree, going to college.
No, it wasn't. It has more become important. Like I thought I can live without money one time, and I could here. And I haven't worked for anybody. It is, look, he come if you want to bring me money. And I have, the last few years, knock wood, my biggest problem sometimes was to spend the money, find the time to spend the money that I make. I was on Airbnb for nearly 2 years before I knew how to get that money and can spend it. So, but I had also financial challenges, and people should not be poor and should not have no money. It's not cool.
Agreed.
Getting people out of poverty is the best thing, and it's proven. It's the best thing we can do to protect the environment. Because when people struggle to survive, to buy cooking gas, struggle to survive to buy a meal, they will go chop down the trees and use them as firewood. Even though the tree will bear fruits again next year. So, but this is all a matter of perception. We need to we need to come to this, and I had this discussion with AI I told you about. We need to come out of the poverty mindset. We need to go into the prosperity mindset. In the money world, 1 and 1 is 2. But in nature, that is not like that. I have one fruit, there are 50 seeds in there. I eat 40 and I plant 10. 20 years, I have a forest of trees, and 1 and 1 has become 5,000. And maybe every year I have 20,000 seeds. So, you know, but this is exactly where Babylon and nature, creation is opposite. In Babylon, they want people to have fear and live in, you know, because when people have fear, they work for less money, because they think when they have no money, they have nothing. So they will work for a little money. But when you're in nature, like here, I saw that in COVID. You know, if I would not go anywhere, every day I would eat. Maybe I wouldn't eat exactly what I want, but maybe I would eat healthier than I even could if I have money. Because I really would have to look on the land and find everything that I need and create a pot with locally grown food that has the energy that I need. It's not just about organic. Organic is fuckery too, you know. Because organic, you can grow organic food and use bone meal, blood meal, dead animals, all kind of stuff. And that's not how I want to grow my food. You know.
Do you do all veganic amendments into your like compost and soils and things, or?
I don't even, I mean hardly even do compost.
Okay.
They're all natural.
Well, here
no,
that's
I
possible.
Don't just
I just mean from a philosophical.
Let me clarify something. Yeah. If I would not have had the use of chemicals in the past, especially when my plants were young, and I used a little fertilizer along the way, I wouldn't have what I have here now. Okay. I used chemicals to spray my plants to protect them young when they were young. Do I spray my plants when they're bearing fruits? No, I don't do that.
Okay.
How much fertilizer do I use here? Maybe the amount of fertilizer I use here in a year for 11 acres of land, some of my neighbors use that 5 times more in a smaller section every year. So I use little, targeted, and I'm not gonna say, you know, I'm nobody gonna get me there where, oh, medicine is bad, or this is bad, and patriarchy is bad. No. Without patriarchal hierarchy, we wouldn't reach where we are now. And now we are, you know, you coming from India. I don't know how it is there with poor people in India. But in Jamaica, even poor people in Jamaica now live a better life than rich people lived 150 years ago. We have mobile phone, we are connected to the world, we have, you know, running water, hot water, cold water, you know, people eat every day. It can even be more distributed. I mean, they said what the money that the 5 richest people on the planet made more during COVID, not what they make, you know, not only what they made more during those 3-4 years of COVID, could save world hunger for 5 times over. And my personal experience agree with that. I come here, you know, and I in the 29 years that I'm on my own land, I never had even a half a year here where everything worked perfect and I have help and we just work towards prosperity. No, what you see here is a side effect of me trying to survive, me dealing with a lot of foolishness, including gang warfare that was going on around me for years, and I'm in the middle of it, and I'm talking to the army, and I'm talking to the police, and I'm talking to the gunmen, and my biggest fear was none of them except I get caught up between them in a shootout.
Right.
You understand? Because I get along with all
or
of
the
them.
peacocks, or the cows, or like anything. You know what I mean? No one wants to be in a shootout.
No. And
cool.
Thank God, knock wood, it never happened. But just to show you, like, if communities can live how I live here, experience from, or, you know, learn from my experience here, and that's why I want to have a little guest room here and invite people.
But what's the difficulty because you've been for
Get into people's head.
Exactly.
That's the biggest
So to me, it
shift
seems
of
like
perception.
yeah.
Biggest challenge.
So
ever.
with the psychedelics, what I'm doing to try to step into the realm of maybe or push it more into the realm of like public conversation is I'm applying it in a practical way to the problem of female PTSD, right? Specifically, sexual abuse under a certain age, right? So we found a species of mushroom that works very well in aiding the condition of PTSD. We don't want to say that we're going to be testing the efficacy of it, but it seems to be very good in terms of a 3 or 4 day intensive program, having similar results or potentially better results to multi-year psychiatric care.
Psychiatric care. I mean, I'm not saying a good psychologist cannot help.
Sure.
But there is a tendency that psychologists don't really want to deal with the tough cases because they're too much work. They rather deal with like spoiled teenagers who, come for a weekly consultation.
Yeah.
And make their life easy. And so, yeah. I mean, I have experience here with people who have had.
Where do you get
Those
to
kind.
test this medicine on?
Foreshadowing a little bit, I guess. I'm working with a group of psychiatrists out of Uruguay. We're going to try to set up a clinic in either of them. We're still not sure if we're going to be setting it up in the Low Bay or the Kingston area, and trying to do affordable therapies while collecting data for research.
So is it based on animals or humans?
This will be a human study. We will be in practice doing a form of therapy that we will be documenting the efficacy of to offer to the world as a solution. There's a significant amount of evidence of using like EMDR therapy in conjunction with like ketamine or like low dose mushrooms. A lot of psychologists seem to say that they have a easier time working with ketamine because it's more consistent. But I'm not like anti anything like that, I guess, but I would prefer to see it come from a connection with something that's alive, that's real, that's here on Earth. So I like the idea of the mushroom therapy. I would try to stick away from processed anything as much as possible unless it's to the complete benefit of the product. But
so if to make our audience understand easily, why would you recommend them consume this product of yours? What is the reaction or
I am not advocating for anyone to start experimenting on themselves if they're not comfortable with what they're doing, but mushrooms are pretty safe overall. I mean, it's not even nothing's mine. These are all just strains that are here on the earth, that we're looking into. And
don't forget, psychedelic mushrooms are on every continent.
Exactly.
Antarctica.
And how different are
widespread.
these mushrooms from the ones we cook in the house? That we get in the Walmart.
In terms of taste, in terms of that kind of thing, there's other mushrooms that taste kind of like psilocybin mushrooms, but in terms of look, you can often find if you put pressure on the mushroom, like a stem will turn blue, or they'll be very flat capped at the top sometimes. There's a bunch of different identifiers. I'm frankly not a top tier mycologist or anything, but you can just Google you can just Google psychedelic mushroom and, within the area you're in, find what you're looking for if you want to be a spelunker like that. I'm not advocating for that. But if you want to do,
But I would like to add something to that because I come from a society where mushrooms are looked on as close to heroin and deadly and and people get paranoid about it. And My experience with mushroom here, when we have grown them here and I see them grow regularly, I would add them to my food in small amounts, in medium amounts, and I would play around with them. And I would go as far as saying that if you know what you're doing, you could feed those dishes where you have a little small amounts of psychedelic mushrooms in there, even to children. There would be nothing, yes, there would be nothing wrong, because you're not going to give him a psychedelic dose. You give him a dose where, and also those mushrooms, they also have nutrients in there.
Okay.
And that's probably how humans find out about psychedelic mushrooms.
But what is the main reaction of these mushrooms?
Have you ever done it?
No,
Psychedelic
no.
mushroom? You should.
But what is the main reaction to the body?
Not the body so much as
What is
more
the
to the
nutrients
mind.
that we're going to get?
Like food, protein, minerals, vitamins, enzymes. So it's just like with regular food. That's also in those mushrooms too. Plus they have the psychedelic side to it, which do you smoke?
No, I
Smoke?
don't.
Do you do any alcohol, drugs?
No alcohol.
Nothing? So you have nothing to compare it to.
I think I was saying the other day, it's sort of like trying to tell someone what a pineapple tastes like that's never had a fruit in a little bit. But like I said before, I really equate it to swimming, in a sense of that it's a differently oriented space that you learn to navigate one way or another, you know. And everyone swims a little bit different. Everyone's got a different
Changes your
strokes.
perception.
Yeah.
Like a moderate dose of mushroom, you would take them now, 2 hours from now, those plants will look much greener. You feel connected to the trees in a way that you still are now, but you see it more obvious. You might even see the plant breathe. You know, you might see stuff that is now not part of your
vision gets
comprehension.
better, your hearing gets a little better. I noticed if I spend too long since I have ingested them, because I feel like my hearing isn't as good and my vision isn't quite as sharp if I don't. And you know what? Maybe there's non-psychedelic mushrooms that I just don't know about that I could get that same benefit from. But I do feel like a sensory difference.
There have been proven that mushrooms, psychedelic mushrooms, help with connecting in the neurotransmitters in the brain. There's more activity going on. And this is also why they feel that it helps with all those post-traumatic stress thing. Instead of people being locked in and being fearful of something, their brain actually starts to work together how it's supposed to work together. And they see alternative options, and they're not stopped in this traumatic situation that paralyzed them for life. But they see that, oh, this was an experience, it's over. Other people are different. I don't have to be afraid of that person because that person who kind of looks similar or was also a man or also a woman treated me in some way. So yeah, it gives you, I would say, done the right way, psychedelic would open up your mind to be fully receptive again to the reality that we are dealing with.
Okay, and
what we have
my thought is like, why do we have to, take supplements like this to open up our mind? Because
we don't have to.
No.
We don't have to.
I would actually say that it might be good that if we do. Are you aware of like just of the training that has been put on your own mind by your culture without your consent? And that to me is one of the core things that psychedelics breaks you from, is identifying with something other than the collective.
okay,
We are the collective. And so there's things that being an American, being anyone, being Indian, being Swiss, being whatever, is going to usually one way or another get trained to you, or trained into you, So I don't think it's so much about a supplement, it's that we often walk around unaware of our of the things that are seriously misserving us or being a detriment to us, that we didn't submit to being made that way.
Okay.
I think me having the ability to actually talk freely about a point that people will bring up, right? I think moments of contention, or like moments where people have to really communicate, you know, and you get through the communication and you get to share your side, well then it's your biggest opportunity if you have an open heart. If you really want to learn, if you really want to get better, I think you shouldn't be afraid of people questioning your ideas, or even, you know, having...
You should embrace it.
Exactly, and you should thank
Because
them
if
for
you don't stand
you should-
up to scrutiny, then it's not
Yes.
a good idea.
And you have to thank them, you know, thank them for their effort. Because people could just let it go. You know, it's like if we were sitting here and his friend or you didn't tell us, hey, we had something on our beard while we were eating. You know what I mean? Like no one wants to walk around. No one wants to walk around with food on their face. You know. So I think the moments of contention, you know, like what would your response be to that? I would be curious.
Me?
Yeah, like with what we were just talking about.
I mean, absolutely, I agree with you, because we have to be as transparent as possible, right? And yeah.
Okay. Yeah, hell yeah, dude. So I like if a tough moment really messes you up, you know, I don't think your heart's in it the right way. Because it should be an opportunity, you know?
And if people rattle your brain, you have to study it. Why they rattle you? There's probably something they said that is very much something you needed to hear.
Yeah. Yeah.
And my question to you would be also this, like, why do you think it is that society, okay, let's take Western society, which I'm most familiar with, why are they so opposed, now less with the ganja, but still with other drugs? Or, for example, mushrooms. It's still, you know, in Europe, in America, there's still the society is still like, oh, be careful with that. But then alcohol and cigarettes, tobacco is available freely, even used to advertise. Or at least when I was young it was, you know. And alcohol, I don't know if you know what alcohol really means, the word eating spirit. That's the Arabic word where alcohol comes from, means that. So the one drug that is eating your spirit is kind of promoted and is used as a social in social settings, and you know. But then if you want to smoke a spliff, you're the drug addict. Or even worse, I can tell you a situation that happened to me in Switzerland with my family last time. I was there for 3 months. I was there maybe 8 months and a half already. And my sister asked me about me and smoking ganja. I said to her, first of all, and I really didn't smoke at that time. I smoked one spliff with a friend of mine in this whole 3 months I was there. So I asked her about if she ever seen me smoke. She said no. And I said then, and could you ever see yourself not drinking coffee? No. But I'm the drug addict. And you know, coffee was looked at upon arrival in Europe, just as they look at mushroom and ganja now here. They were saying, oh, those people, they don't do nothing else but drink coffee and chat foolishness in their coffee houses. That's how coffee was received in Europe. So, you know, and then societal pressure. I saw that on my father's, I don't know which one it was, 75th or something, 70th birthday. I go there, I don't drink alcohol, I didn't smoke that day, and I saw this whole orchestrated thing was going on. We went for a walk, everybody get tired, we come back to the restaurant, they serve appetizer and white wine, everybody's energy rises. Then we get food, and then we get more wine, and the energy is there, and everybody's talking, but after eating, everybody get tired. Then the coffee come, and sugar, and everybody's energy rises again, and it's totally orchestrated how people go through life as a group, those events, you know. I don't know how that is in India, which alcohol is popular.
I mean, it is popular, but when people don't consume much. Yeah, as much as America or
As America.
Europe does.
Yeah. So.
But it is, yeah.
Mhm. Do they have? I mean, India. I mean, ganja. The word ganja in Jamaica come from the Indian who came here.
Okay.
Ganja is in India.
Yeah, it is.
And is it, how is it looked upon by the general population?
I mean, it is consumed in a lot of local society. And
Like your grandmother would make a little ganja tea sometime. Would that happen?
no, I mean, not in our culture, but yes, maybe if you go more local towards.
It could be like that.
Yeah, I mean villages and all in India. Yes, they might consume a lot of ganja and all of that.
Because this is the other thing that really also puzzles me all the time. There's like pretty much every culture on the planet have something, you know, not usually something that's available 24/7 all through the year, but for ceremonies or for events or certain rituals, they would have their little things that help alter the mind, and it just seems to be part of human society going way back. I mean, there are people who say that even the Catholic Church is based on experiences like the burning bush there. You know, they claims that was some kind of DMT experience that Moses have, and you know, mushrooms. They claim, you know, oh, it rained, and then the bread was on the ground. The mushroom come after the rain. Mushrooms grow. So, you know, I would see that people feel that is a blessing, and they create, you know, lifestyles around it. And I mean, there are people.
Okay, so are there any medicinal or psychedelic plants that are currently on the property or that you work with?
Not psychedelic, medicinal, yes. I have many medicinal plants here. As a matter of fact, when I see on social media those 20 most useful plants kind of statistics pop up, I usually use about 3/4 of them regularly. I have ginger here, I have turmeric here, I have cayenne pepper here, I have basil is growing here, cinnamon, bay leaf, various basil, basilicum I have here. Psychedelics, what I had in the past, I grew some ganja here in the past, and we had some mushroom here for a couple of years. We had some good amount of mushrooms growing in different places, and that's something that I would like to see done again in the future, but that is just not possible when I'm here alone, the only one doing everything.
Sure.
Then I have to focus on my exotic fruit trees, which is essential. Like mushrooms, we can get that in the grill easy. It sells now in all kind of shops. I don't focus on stuff that I can buy.
No,
easily,
yeah, I understand.
you know.
Yeah.
But would I love to have it here? You know, in its most natural form, and people actually, you know, experience the whole process, not just the consumption, but also the growing and reaping and drying and all of that. Yes, that would be sweet.
Yeah, they have they have like cutting tours and stuff in like some parts of Mexico that I know of, where they kind of go out, forage, take it, and then do it. But yeah, no, that's cool. Have you?
What fruit is this?
Santal. I was hoping you know it. It comes from your
What is it called again?
Santal.
Santal?
Santal.
Is it a fruit or vegetable?
Fruit.
No, I'm not aware. I've never consumed it before.
I got this one for. There might be a bit overripe. I'm not sure, but that's what I have. Yeah, it's a bit overripe.
What I've loved about this is it was like we started with that wonderful cake, and then we're like hanging out here, and then he's like, "Oh, an iguana," you know, like he's chilling right there.
It's like guava.
You don't get the best part yet. I hope. This one here, it's a bit overripe too, but let me.
This is native to India.
Southeast Asia. I'm not exactly sure. Mm. That one can still eat.
Does it have seed?
You're eating what's around the seed. Full of that. Oh. I still eat them in this stage.
Where do I trash? Seed. So what are these called again?
Sampo.
Synthol.
Heaviest bearing fruit tree in the world. A mature tree can have up to 25,000 fruits in one season.
Where are we putting it?
This one. And those are small ones. They can be big like this. So imagine 25,000 fruits on one tree.
24,000 shit. On one tree.
Heaviest bearing fruit tree on the planet.
Okay.
Fan dry here at the garden.
Well, coming here, I've seen a lot of. So this is a star fruit, right? No.
This is a dragon fruit.
Oh.
We have star fruit too, but none of them is here right now.
Okay.
We have at least 3 varieties of star fruit here.
Okay.
How you come from India? Have you ever seen an orange or a red jackfruit?
Red jackfruit?
Yeah. Or
No, I've
orange.
just seen the jackfruit, which is very similar to that one out there, but not the red one.
So
Oranges
this is
are
India.
oranges are common. Everywhere you get them.
Common?
Oranges, yeah.
In
So
India, it's common to have orange jackfruit?
no, orange, just orange.
Oranges.
Yeah.
No, I'm not talking oranges. I'm talking an orange jackfruit. where
No,
the
no,
flesh
no.
inside is orange.
He's like, nope, never seen a formula.
Yeah,
I have
the
a tree.
formula. No.
I have a tree,
Okay.
and the jackfruit also have no stain, no sticky latex, nothing.
Okay. If I have an opportunity, I would love to consume jackfruit today because I love jackfruit.
Okay, I have one in the fridge, but that's not a perfect one and not an orange one, but I have one downstairs,
Okay.
so you can do that.
I
After work, first work, then pleasure.
Once again, thank you so much for being part of this journey and
Thanks
sharing
for
this.
coming and
Yeah.
exposing my little doings here, man. I appreciate that.
Yeah, no problem. But it was very unique to hear about a story like this, right?
Good.
And also
I
you.
do enjoy. Dad, thanks for lining up this.
Yeah, it's my
afternoon.
pleasure. I thought you guys would be kind of cool.
Nice to meet you. Thank you again
Same
once
here.
again. Yeah. Bye.
Take care.